Hi guys, and welcome along to the next episode of my Gold Grabbers YouTube channel. So I'm back up in Tyndrum, part of another trip. It's a 5-day trip, but it's not full days just because of the weather. It's still absolutely miserable. It's only about 5 degrees outside, overcast, raining. It's been raining all night as well, so it's very, very cold. As you can see, I'm pretty much all as wrapped up as I can be. So I've been trying a couple of spots further downstream for early on in my trip. There's a couple of videos on my channel of that. I've also tried a little spot just up there on this side of the river. Only found a few little specks of that one. Again, there's a video on my channel on that one. So today I'm going to be trying this little stream that's coming down here. This is actually pretty much the bowl of the Crom Allt, where you've got all of the different streams feeding down into the different parts of the rivers, and they all converge right here. So this particular stream is being fed from that little gully, and then when you go around the bend, there's about 3 different streams feeding into this one as well. Now when I was walking up here, I could see a few holes that have been filled in with big boulders, which goes to show some people have been working along here. So I'm going to give it a try. I've had a little spot down here that I think might be okay. That little gravel bank just there beneath the bedrock slab that's going down. I'm going to work all the material all around up against the bedrock slab. Hopefully I'll be able to sluice pretty much straight off the end, and hopefully by the end of the day I should pretty much have a good idea whether that area's got any gold or not, and whether it's going to be worth trying this stream anymore, or whether it's going to be worth just going back downstream for the rest of the trip, because it's a hell of a hike to get up here. I was about 45-50 minutes and a good bit of out of breath as well, but I'm not particularly the fittest person, so at least I'm here. I'm going to give it a go. So I'm going to get all my gear set up, fill a couple of buckets, give them a sluice through, and see what we're going to get for the day. Right, so there's the first bucket of material ready to sluice through. I managed to get my sluice nicely set up just at the end of this run, just by moving a couple of big boulders and then basically just running it off where the waterfall would have been. So hole wise, you can see it's coming along quite nicely. This was pretty much all surface level, so you can see there's a nice hole emerging there. I say I'm still going to do another bucket out of this as well. Even if this one doesn't really hold much, I've got to do at least 2 buckets just to be sure for myself. There's a good sample run, just to see if there's anything actually going to be in the hole or not. So it's all set up ready to go, so I'll get me sluicing on and see what it's got to hold. Well, that very first bucket held absolutely nothing, not a single speck. But I'm still going to run a second bucket out of the hole before writing it off completely. It may well be a case that it's been done relatively recently and it's just filled back up with a natural flood. I don't know. It's very mucky, dirty water that's coming out of it, so it's not exactly all fresh and clean. So the only way to find out really is just to run the second bucket, see if this is going to hold anything. If it doesn't, then I might consider filling it back in, moving on. It's still early in the day though, so worst case scenario, I can always run a third bucket, then write it off completely. First things first, get this second bucket ran. Hopefully this one's going to have some gold to show, and then that means I can just crack on and hopefully find nice bits throughout the day. So we'll get this sluiced and see what's in it. Yeah, well, so I've just sluiced through that second bucket, and again, not a single speck. So I'm just going to throw a couple of big boulders in that hole and forget about that one. I would have expected to have seen at least a couple of micro dot specks, just if there was going to be anything in there on the way down towards anything better. I've already scraped along the side of the bedrock with the pump, things like that. It's just not giving anything out, so it's either been completely cleared out before or it's never held anything in it. So that's pretty much a wipeout really for that hole. But that's the name of the game. It's called prospecting, not mining. You can't just rock up and expect to find gold in every single hole, even though you'd prefer to and like to. But unfortunately, that hole, no more. So I'm going to have a little mooch around and see if there's anywhere else that takes my fancy. If there isn't, I'm going to pack up and head back downstream a bit, because I'm not going to do this hike again for the next couple of days. It was nice to get up here and have a look, but I'm going to concentrate a little bit further downstream for the remainder of the trip. So as I say, I'm going to fill in that hole, have a little look around, see if there's anywhere here while I'm here that's going to be worth a little dabble. If not, I'll crack on and have a look at a different spot. So I've abandoned that hole from previously. I've moved right downstream, and I do mean right down compared to where I was earlier on. It's a nice open area, this bit, just around the bend there. There's a concentrated chute of water, as you can see. So that's shooting down there. It's creating a huge boulder pile there. That's obviously a low pressure zone from where all of the stones are getting kicked up from boiling down at the bottom. But there's no way any of those boulders are getting moved to get into any material there. So working downstream from that, you can see it turns into a bend, and it also starts to flatten out as well. So as it'll be flattening out, that'll be lowering the pressure of the water, and as it's going around the bend as well, that should hopefully be sucking a lot of the gravels in onto the inside bend up against this bedrock slab. There's a nice mixture of stones here, so this is just off the bend itself, so I'm going to give these a try. Should be plenty of spaces to be able to set up a sluice as well. Looks as though somebody's obviously been working here, because there's a tub of concentrate that's been left here as well. I can't see any obvious holes from where they've been working, but don't worry, that'll be left exactly where it is, and whatever's in it will stay in it. I'm not interested in robbing anybody's pay dirt or anything, so as I say, now it's just going to be a case of getting all the gear back out, clearing away some of the bigger boulders, and working against the bedrock slab, going down, and hopefully we'll find a little bit of gold for the day. Can't be any worse than the first hole. So here goes bucket number one from the new spot. Can't be any worse than the last one. Only about a third of the way through the bucket, so still plenty of material left to go. Hopefully there's going to be a sign of gold, but again, this is relatively surface-ish material. I followed the bedrock slab down, and it looks as though it's bottomed out a little bit, so some of this material should hopefully be off that. Some of it's just going to be off the material on the way down, so hopefully there's going to be a sign of gold. If not, I'll still run at least another bucket, just widen out the hole a little bit, and then again, if that's still not showing, pack up, move on, and find another spot. But here's hoping it won't have to do that again. Let's just try and find that little bit of a trace of gold. So it's not a very good day at all today so far. There was no gold in that hole so far yet either. I should have made this little film just before I stepped in the hole, as the water had cleared. because you can actually see that as this slab is going down, it does bottom straight off underneath. So we're going to take another bucket and work up towards that little slab there. You can see it hasn't moved in a while, and that itself should in theory be a bit of a catch zone as well. I'll probably discard a lot of the surface overburden and just try and concentrate on working the slab up towards it and see what that's got to hold. Again, if that second bucket's got no gold, then that'll be it for this spot as well. I'm not going to crack on working material after material with no signs, no traces. So it does go to show you can't always win it. So there's that second bucket sluiced through, and finally there's the first gold show of the day. One slightly bigger bit and a couple of small speckier bits just next to it as well. Nothing to write home about, nothing to break the bank, but at least it's actually a show of gold rather than just absolutely nothing for the whole day in 2 holes. So it's a good sign. Still nothing to get excited about, I'll freely admit that, but at least it's at least a bit, which is better than absolutely nothing. So I'm going to continue with this hole. It's relatively easy working, it's getting quite late in the day anyway, so I'm going to push this hole on and a little bit deeper as well. At least I've had a show of gold, so hopefully the next bucket's going to be an improvement. If it's not, then I'll probably just pack it up and that'll be it for the day. 2 spots tested, 5 or 6 buckets ran in total, so yeah, it's not the best day so far. Still plenty of time for it to be picking up though, if the weather holds and it stays light, but it's just been raining on and off all day. Not really the best of conditions, but it is what it is. So I'll get cracked on, get this snuffered up, get the next bucket filled. Well, there's bucket number 3 of spot number 2 ran, sluiced, panned, and it's the best pan of the day. It's still definitely not record breaking, ground breaking, anything like that, but because I've been pretty much striking out so far, to see a nice sized piece like that with a few more smaller pieces around it. There's another bit down there starting to escape as well, a few more dotty micro bits down there, but that's certainly the nicest piece of the day, which wouldn't be hard, as I say, because there's been very little to choose from so far. But it's still quite a nice sized piece, that one. So I'm going to continue with this hole, seeing as the spec crease is increasing. I mean micro dot wise there's probably about 20-30 specks, like really tiny fly poop type size specks in there, but a couple of good sized bits in there as well. So I'm going to continue with the hole, work it again out towards that slab that's sticking out a bit there. Again, working against the main bedrock slab and trying to just scrape all the way along the bottom with the spade, and then pumping out any material that I can't scoop up with the spade with the pump. So I'll probably be able to get 1 more bucket for the day, maybe 2, and then I might revisit this hole again as well. We'll see. So first things first, get this snuffered out and get at least 1 more bucket done. Well, can you see what I can see? I hope so, because it's been staring at me all the way through this 3rd bucket of the hole. That lovely little piece right there. The mat's got it at the moment, and once the mat gets a piece of gold, it doesn't let go of it. so I don't have any fear about just slopping loads of material straight over the top of it. So that's not going anywhere, so that looks like a really nice piece for the clean out. Hopefully there might be a few more pieces as well. So I've just finished that bucket and there's that lovely piece there. I should actually be able to pick that out in a second. Certainly makes moving spots worthwhile, even if that's the only bit that's in this actual sluice. It's still going to be worth it as well. That's a really nice looking piece, that one. Looks quite rough and textured as well, so I'll get that picked out, give the rest of the material a pan out and see if there's anything else in it. So you can see that's a beautiful piece of gold, that one. A lot of shape and texture and definition to it. Really nice. So there's a few more nice specky pieces to go with that nicer chunkier piece. Unfortunately I've just actually dropped that nice chunkier piece and I've dropped it onto quite rough ground just down there. I've taken a full pan's worth of material where I thought it dropped onto. It hasn't showed back up yet, but I'm going to revisit this hole again tomorrow. I'll cover that in another video. So as I say, as I'm working with that, I might still have another scratch and a scrape around there because I know for a fact there's a really nice piece of gold there, but whether I can actually dig it out and find it again or not, or whether it's just gone back to the gravel gods, so to speak, who knows. As I say, I'll have another scratch around again tomorrow while I continue with this haul. That would have been the really nicest piece of the day. As I say, it's still a few more bits to go in there as well as the ones from the previous bucket as well, so the day's finished a hell of a lot better than it started out with. Unfortunately, it's just had a bit of a downer, as I say, with me dropping that piece down there. Hopefully I'll be able to get that back out tomorrow. So have a look at my videos on my channel. We'll find out whether I do actually find that in tomorrow's video when that gets uploaded while I continue with this haul. So I hope you found this video a bit entertaining. If you did, do have a look at all of the other videos on my channel. There's loads of other content on there. Give this video a good old thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Cheers.